Not too often you see hunters in 2 versus 2 because of loss issues. I am resto druid, we are going against rogue mage. They open up on hunter. I get out of cloak with rejuvenate and life blooms on hunter. Immediately I get polyed cause of bad positioning. I insta trinket, do regrowth and get blinded full duration. Hunter at 50%, he goes deterrence. I'm thinking I will save him after blind, but I only get 1 life bloom in and I'm sapped. 3 seconds. Rogue gets scatter and he knows a trap is soon to follow, so he trinkets scatter to escape the goddamn trap. Mage puts another polymorph on me. I use nature swiftness for an instant cyclone on Rogue just as he vanishes. You will notice he is cycloned yet vanished. Hunter is almost dead. I'm counterspelled now. Then I get deep freeze. I've been in CC almost since the start of the arena. Then check this one out, it is the killer one right here. It's Ring of Frost with smoke bomb on top of it. I can't move out, cause if I would get out I would get into the ring. And when I stay inside, it's the damn smoke bomb, I can't heal, vision is obscured. This is a good use of smoke bomb and Ring of Frost. Hunter almost dies. Luckily, the rogue stepped into the previously laid trap. Hunter goes to 210 HP, smoke bomb clears out and the rejuve plus swiftment barely saves the hunter. Mage dies soon after. My mistake was not going 3 form from start. Rogue's mistake was going back onto that trap. What's important is that Ring of Frost and Smoke Bomb combo after a deep freeze. That's a killer. Next one is a really common and powerful setup. Frost Decay Holy Paladin. After a stun on Decay, I try a Cyclone on Paladin. But I immediately get Death Gripped. I do War Stomp then Cyclone. Death Knight is on me, so that leaves my hunter free to DPS. Decay freezes us. Pala bubbles because Decay was going kinda low. I rejuve and put Life Bloom on myself. Issue with Decay on me is that it will be harder to link CC to my hunter, but on the other hand, my hunter will do more damage. I trinket and stun the Decay. I put life blooms on me again. I know Pala is staying fairly close to rebuke me. I start a cyclone, it gets arcane torrent. I put 3 life blooms on. Hunter does scatter on Pali and then a trap. I fake cast a healing touch and Decay bites it, he uses mind freeze. This is interrupt bar, it shows me the cooldown on his mind freeze. I do a healing touch now. Notice I was going down even with hots on myself against good decays. I need to cast or kite. Now what I wanna do is get a cyclone after that trap, but I have to healing touch myself because of so much pressure, and now I start a cyclone. That fake cast allowed me 2 healing touches and a cyclone. Yet I am still at 50k and I can't really run with this decay around. The disadvantages of doing that on this setup is that my hunter won't be able to do damage because he would get loss issues. Decay is putting a lot of pressure. Another scatter and then a trap on the Paladin. I root the Decay, got full life blooms on myself. They are not enough to keep me alive. Trap ended and I do an instant cyclone using nature's swiftness. Decay almost dies, but I believe he summoned his pet just to kill it and heal himself, and the Death Knight survives once more. I do another fake cyclone cast. I start a new cast, but Paladin stuns me. I go back to healing myself. You can see the damage and healing I'm taking here. Again, scatter shot on Paladin, then the trap. I go bear form and bash the Paladin. I used the nature swiftness for instant healing touch this time. So I go war stomp, then cyclone. Paladin trinkets. I'm trying to run away from the decay. I start a healing touch and fake it. Then I go for the real one. The Paladin almost got me with Rebuke, he was just an instant too late. Paladin gets scatter, I get silenced, we get both frozen, Hunter gets out with Bestial Wrath. I run back and forth, always keeping line of sight of my Hunter. I try to outrun the decay, but I get stunned. This arena was very intense, a lot of healing needed. Keep in mind that my Hunter stood still and fired while we both put CC on Paladin as much as we could. This made him use a lot of mana without even realizing. I go for a final stun on the Paladin. Then a scatter. Then a trap. Nothing he can do this time. Decay dies. Next one, double melee DPS. I get pulled by the Decay. His name is Terminator, so I don't go for him. It is common knowledge you can't kill a Terminator. I have no choice but to go for the Retribution. Damage taken on me, Crusader Strike 8k. I stunned the retri. He trinkets. Frost Strike 8k, 7k, hamstring on retri, druid goes 3 form. I am at 35k HP, 3 seconds after the battle started. Retaliation, druid gets strangulated. I bladestorm. They planning on switching to druid. Druid goes line of sight, piercing howl to slow them. Paladin goes bubble. Look at druid's HP. Decay gets rooted. Shatter throw, then charge. Pala gets 1 heal and then he goes back to the offensive. Trinket frozen. Hamstring Pala. Fear. War stomp. Stun on druid and he is dead. Powerful nuke by the 2 melees. Issue here was not getting pre-hotted before getting pulled by the decay. That forced druid to use trinket for strangulate, which meant that later on when they switched to him, he didn't have trinket to use for the paladin stun. In 3 vs 3 we've got decay, rogue, resto, druid. I'm with Mage and resto druid on my team. We go for the rogue. They are attacking me, and I will present to you the cocky bladestorm. To do a cocky bladestorm, you need 2 melees attacking you. Any 2 melees will do, don't discriminate. Go Zerk stance. Use sweeping strikes, then recklessness, then bladestorm. Druid is not CC'd. Get some help with a freeze on the rogue, otherwise he will disarm you. Rogue uses Cloak of Shadows, druid gets a cyclone, execute for 10k, execute for 15k, rogue dead. Next, I am Discipline Priest. My DPS is an elemental shaman, one of the last of his kind, a dying breed, getting interrupted into not playing arenas. But what I wanted to show to you is how this affliction warlock and arcane mage setup works. Warlock starts doting elemental. I shield. Polymorph gets interrupted by my elemental. This is the important part. Mage spell steals fear word and lock fears me right after. I know the nuke power of this setup, so I trinket. Elemental has full HP and renew on. Situation seems under control. I go behind graveyard to be in loss of possible polymorphs. Elemental gets counterspelled. Arcane Blast, shield on Elemental, I get Death Coil, 2 seconds, 1 second, spamming Paint Suppression, Penance, Elemental is dead. 3.7k resilience on that Elemental. Let's see that again. An Arcane Blast for 30k, a shield from me, a Death Coil and really powerful nuke. Last arena for this episode, a free versus free, and my partners start up mounted on carpets. They do this to confuse and disorient the enemy. The enemy is like, ooh, carpets, and then, when did I last vacuum? This lets my hunter open with a lightning attack on the bedazzled enemy Warlock. He cowers away behind pillar. Rogue goes for hunter. Hunter disengages. Warlock trinkets sap. Cyclone on rogue. Enemy Warlock is affliction. He is in fear from my Warlock. Rooting rogue. A rooted rogue is a docile rogue. Scatter on resto shamy. He can't dispel rogue. Rogue doesn't wanna stay docile, he uses Cloak of Shadows. I get Death Coil that send me into the middle, and then a fear is linked to it. Hunter at 60%, Trinket Fear. I have diminishing returns on Cyclone on Rogue, so Warlock puts a fear on him, he trinkets. I am pet silenced. Hunter is at 27k using Nature Swiftness with Healing Touch. As I get blinded, Hunter goes into deterrence. My Warlock gets hexed, cycloning their Warlock, dispelling my Warlock. Who's got a free Warlock? We do. Kidney shot by Rogue, they might switch to me. Dispelled Hunter. My Warlock fears their Warlock because he likes fearing other Warlocks. Nature's Grasp to root the rogue, and I am garroted, trying to make my way back behind pillar. Enemy healer gets scattered and then trapped. My hunter gets feared again. My Warlock is also feared. War Stomp at 24k. My Warlock fears the enemy Warlock yet again. I go to 7k from rogue damage and dots. I go 3 form, 3k HP, regrowth 14k. Enemy shaman feared. They switch back on hunter. Neither of us on full HP. Cyclone Warlock as I get feared. Fear on shaman again, followed by a scatter. I am also feared. Rejuve on myself, rejuve on hunter. Hunter disengages. 2 life bloons on him, and I'm feared. My team is going for the enemy rogue. 3 life bloons, hunter not doing so well with HP, he is trying to kite. And shamy got mana totem up. Enemy Warlock feared yet again. And they switch back on me, which means both my hunter and my Warlock are free to DPS. Enemy healer gets scattered and then trapped. Full duration trap this time, very important. I'm silenced, I go bear form and pacify the rogue through the power of bash. Powerful nuke by my 2 DPS, rogue dies. That's it for this episode, I hope you enjoyed it. Check the links below this video if you wanna see an UI tutorial from me. It's a bit old, but it's still useful for those interested. Also, there is a link to my Facebook account if you wish to follow me on Facebook. I'm not using Facebook to play Farmville. I'm using it to let people know when I release new videos. This has been a video from Love to Play WoW. Thanks for watching and good luck in the arena.